There is a lot of toxic information out there in the world of business, of creative entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, and all of those things. And I just want to be a sort of different voice to encourage you to trust the simple. The reason why I want to speak to this and why I think it's so impactful is I see all of these convoluted strategies that are so outcome oriented and so sort of succeed at all costs, hustle oriented, that are just not for everybody, and in fact are not for most people. So if you're the 99% of other people who don't thrive in the hustle and achieve culture, if that's not your jive, I want to just reframe how you can cultivate success as a creative entrepreneur. But first, if you're new here, my name's Kev. I am an award-winning furniture designer, and I help ambitious creatives design and build aligned businesses that they love. And how I facilitate this is I encourage everyone to trust the simple. The problem is, simple's not easy. It's easy to get lost in a really complex and convoluted strategy. You do X, Y, Z, D, whatever, you do these 20 steps, you click your heels together 3 times, and you keep going, and you write 1,000 blog posts every single day, and look, all of that's great. But what is sustainable is often simple. But simple is a challenge because it requires deep devotion, and it requires you to sit with the discomfort of not seeing immediate results, right? Our culture is so immediate gratification based that I'm a firm believer if you just have any amount of devotion to a longer game, it's not a matter of if, it's when you'll succeed, right? The problem is most people keep pivoting because they try this strategy for a week, it doesn't work, they pivot. They try that for a week, it doesn't work, they pivot. They try this diet, that diet, whatever. Again, experiment. I'm a firm believer with experiments, but rather than being focused on the what you're doing, focus on the how you're doing. Focus on the devotional aspect of what is the core essence of what I'm trying to create for the world? Where is my core value, and how can I just consistently express that to the world? Consistently give that generously. Chances are that's a pretty simple system, right? Chances are it's not 1,000 different moving parts. For me, in this example, my expression, my simple system is I am going to speak to a camera every single day. And I won't share every single day what I create, but for the most part, I'm going to speak to this camera what is true to my heart, what I'm learning, and I'm going to share it with the world. And I'm going to give it without expectation. I'm not giving this with the expectation of I'm going to go viral and 1 million people are going to follow me and I'm never going to have to work a day in my life again. That's not what I crave. Now sure, I'd love to feel what that might be like in my system, but what I crave is to give generously. And at the same time, I'm fueling a business that I've been building for years through this medium, but I'm giving generously. That's a simple system. But if I'm attached to an outcome, I'm probably going to fall off the wagon because I might get frustrated. It might be like not seeing any results. It might be who the fuck is listening. But if you can trust the simple, if you can trust that what is on your heart is to show up and you're going to give your deepest presence and generosity and kindness each day, you're damn straight that that will be rewarded over time. It might not happen in a tangible way that is made aware to you in a week, in a month, but know that your ripples are always going out there. Regardless of whether you see the impact of those ripples, the ripples are going out there. And maybe 1% of the time, that ripple might bounce back and somebody will say how much they valued chatting with you that day or what you shared that day, whatever it is, right? But for the most part, you have to be okay trusting your simple system of giving your gifts to the world without expectation. Now, of course, have a structure in place that can catch the luck, if you will. Have a system in place that can catch the people that are curious about your world and invite them deeper. Have a newsletter sign up. Have a weekly workshop that is recurring that can grow. Have a website that people can call you at if they like your work. All of those things. Like, don't be naive, right? You need to have a structure. But most importantly, cultivating trust that the simple is the most sustainable. Cut out all of the noise. Have one channel of expression, maybe two, and devote to that. The more that you can deepen your devotion and your practice and your authentic giving, the more you will become on purpose, aligned, and magnetic. I see so many people making the mistake of trying these complex, convoluted systems, and they're just like, God, I'm stressed, I don't feel good. It's like, if you don't feel good, get off the train that you're on, right? If you don't like the way that your life is, get off that train. There will be grief, there will be loss, there will be lots of hard feelings to acknowledge. But what's harder? Staying on this path that you do not love, or making a bold move and confronting the discomfort that you've been avoiding so that you can make space to create a great life? I don't know, that sounds pretty appetizing, even though it's gonna freaking challenge you to your core. But that's really what's preventing people from trusting and devoting to the simple system of giving their gifts fully, is we are so entrenched in a system that we've created that's complex and convoluted, and it takes all these gears and it's rolling, that we're just like sunk cost, right? Well, I'm already doing this, so why would I pivot? Or you know what, one day it's gonna work out, but you don't actually really even know what you're giving to the world. You're not actually clear and sharp and precise with how you're showing up, and if it's aligned with your core values. So something that I help facilitate is helping people cut ties and cords with that kind of stressed life. And it doesn't mean to just kick back, relax, like, oh, I don't need to do anything. Like, no. Like, you know, your purpose will take hard work, but it should also nourish you. But if you don't cut a clear tie with the way that is not serving you, and that doesn't mean leaving your job, it doesn't mean leaving a relationship, it doesn't mean moving across the world. It can mean those things, right? But to do it in a way that your nervous system can handle, so that you can devote energy to something that fills you up, nourishes you, something that's more simplified, easy to digest. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's easy to digest. That's gonna lead to a much, much more fulfilling life. So trust the simple process. Cut out the noise of what you might be doing in your business. Get honest with yourself. Are you working in your business or on your business? You know, am I so caught up in the job that I've created for myself? Or am I working on the big picture of this thing that I am building that is a vessel to constantly be giving love and value to the world? Chances are you probably are working in your business. I fall victim to this all the time. And it's something I constantly have to step out of and remind myself that I am here for something greater, and I need to trust this simple system and not get lost in the day-to-day mundane things. Keep my heart open and generous. So trust the simple. And if necessary, take a step and a break away from the life that you're living that you don't want to be living. You know, do it gracefully, but be honest with yourself. How can I create a more simple system of doing creative business that makes me feel more alive? That is a great frame to structure anything that you do in life. So if this was helpful, I would absolutely love for you to join my newsletter. It's a free resource that I send out every week that will give you deeper insights, experiments, and just funny stories on how you can deepen your practice and grow your business. And the Embodied Creator Toolkit is my paid training. It's a great resource to just take this all to the next level and see how it impacts your business. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.